Hello and welcome back to the Bright Founders Talk podcast from Temi. Temi is an international software development company that designs, builds and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. My name is Chris and today's guest is someone who has developed a wide range of experience in the Forex industry over the past 2 decades and is a co-founder, co-owner and chairman of 4 thriving companies. Francesc, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Very well. Thank you for inviting me.
A pleasure. So just the warm-up questions that we always ask. For example, what is your favorite way to be productive while working from home?
Well, as you heard some noise behind me, I try to hide from the rest of the family. So fortunately, I have a secret place where I can hide and stay there for some time and avoid all the noise and all the goings around the house during the day.
Is there a particular part of the day when there's a lot of peace? Like in the mornings, is it good or is it better in the afternoon?
It's noisy all day long. Think that I am living in Barcelona and here we are experts of the noise. So
Okay.
there is no quietness.
The second question, what is something new that you would like to learn outside of work?
Outside of work, I'm a basketball freak. I love basketball. I coach a basketball team, a female basketball team. I usually surfing around for tips and new exercises to do, new systems, whatever. I just surf around and this is what, it's my passion, so I don't mind to spend time with it.
How is the team from Barcelona doing at the moment in the league? Very well.
Barcelona team this year, they had a very important budget cut. The budget has been dramatic because I think that they lost over 50% of the budget or something around this. And we have doubts that it's going to be as competitive as it used to be. We'll see. Today, for example, is starting the EuroLeague. That it's the most important competition here in Europe. It's a very tough competition with a very tough competitors. So we'll see. I don't know at this time.
All right, brilliant. The last question here of the warm-up ones. What is the best way to unwind or relax after a long day or just a stressful day in general?
For me, coaching is very relaxing, but what I do when I arrive home at night is, if the weather is okay, I try to get a quick swim. This helps me at least to take the heat off of me because it's been a sweaty summer, a couple of summers, the last 2, and it's a sweaty October still. And afterwards, I left to watch a TV show with my wife. And this is the way I relax, some reading just before going to bed, and this is it.
All right, sounds good. Well, as you mentioned, you're from Barcelona, so I'm just curious. You've worked, obviously, in Barcelona. What would you say about the business sphere in the city? Is it full of opportunities, or maybe on the other side, is it lacking in some areas compared to New York or London or wherever?
Well, Barcelona is a pretty important hub of technology in Europe. I think it's ranked number 3 or 4. I think we are behind London and Paris. I think I don't know if Berlin is there as well. There's plenty of job opportunities here. The big problem we have is that the competition is in the field for talented people is fierce. So it's very difficult to find the right people to join you, and it's even harder to retain them.
Right. Okay. Do you see many people from, say, Catalonia, from Barcelona, they go abroad looking for other opportunities, or they normally, especially in technology, or do they stay here?
If they're in the technology sector, they usually stay here because there are plenty of opportunities, and a lot of people from all over Europe are coming to live here because the quality of life in Barcelona is really good. We have the sea, we have very good weather. Barcelona is a city, it's a small city, but a big one as well. We have everything. So quality of life is really, really good. But in other sectors, the economy in Spain is not brilliant, and the salaries are pretty shitty, to tell you the truth. And some of the our young talent is migrating right now, looking for good jobs and decent payrolls abroad. So this is a problem that Spain is facing right now.
Yeah, I think it happens quite often with other places as well. I know from the UK, many British people go to Australia because, you know, they can pay way better and they have salary, so on.
Yeah, depends here as well.
What was it for you personally? What was it like in your first ever job? How did you get on?
My first ever job, I didn't know what to do, but I don't know how I survive. I think that you have to do your best. And fortunately, my boss was a very sweet guy, and he lost a lot of time and giving me guidance and support. So he made things really, really, really easy for me.
What did you do?
I was in charge of developing or doing a market research about the situation of technology in Catalonia. And while I had to make some questionnaires and send them over to the companies in the field, get their data, their revenue data, and so on. But fortunately, my boss helped me a lot, so it was kind of easy.
Okay, yeah, I suppose it's good that when you have sort of a mentor.
But it's very important. Otherwise, if you are left alone in front of the Toro, you're dead.
During that sort of beginning stage, you know, of work and also maybe your studies, is there any skill that you learnt that you still use today in your career?
Any skill? I think that what it's critical for any employee to be important and to have a career nowadays is that you put all the skills you have to work in place. So commitment is very important. Leadership in your area is very important. Be professional, be on time. All these kind of things that are kind of, they look like kind of old stuff. They are nowadays what are making the difference. It's not the studies, of course, to be prepared and to have an important for education. It's important, it's critical, but what is going to make the difference is all the extra that you can put to work. And these extras are undervalued and should be taken very much in count because they are going to make the difference, not only in the importance you are going to have in your company, but in your career.
I see. Kind of just doing extra stuff to show your passion or your interest in whatever industry.
I know a lot of some people that they're brilliant, they're very intelligent, they're smart, they're efficient, but they just want to give the minimum to the company because I don't know, for any reason I don't think they don't think that they are well paid, or they don't like the schedule they have, whatever, for any reason, and they are not having a career. If they really put everything they had, they would be extremely successful, but they just don't. So try not to do that.
In terms of yourself, what inspired you to be so involved in business? Was it where you grew up, family, or something else? What kind of pushed you?
It was casualty, absolutely. If you had interviewed me when I was, 18 years old, my dream was to become a funcionario. We call him a state worker.
A Okay.
So not because I wanted to serve people, not just because they have a job position for life, they have a secure payroll, they have outstanding vacations, they have and so on. And then life takes you for paths
So
you would never say, and you find yourself one day before 100 people that you have to make a speech, and you say, what am I doing here? So it was absolutely casual.
okay, you just kind of you fell into it. You kind of just
Yeah.
developed. Interesting. And I saw that you are a business angel for a
Yeah.
number of businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What is your role? What do you sort of do as a business angel?
Well, when I do speeches about my role as a business angel, I always say that in my investment criteria, one of the most important things is to get into a company in the growth phase. This is very easy to say and very difficult to do, because when the startups are in the growth phase, usually the business angel, the valuations and the conditions are not really for them. You have to, if you really want to make a difference and to help entrepreneurs, and you want to get into a good deal, you have to get into the seed phase. And the seed phase, you know that if you have some tracking, you are lucky. Many times it's just a PowerPoint and a team willing to read the world. So I would say that I would like to always get into a company in the growth phase, but I get into the seed phase, and then I try to help them with my experience and the experience that they are looking for. If I don't have it, I try to find someone that could give them a hand on that. So this is the really value I add to the companies I invest in, and it what I look for. I'm looking for, because it's something that fulfills me.
Interesting. So normally you like to work with smaller businesses and kind of take them through a certain stage. Like
Exactly. More. I would say that right now I'm more taking startups from seed to growth than getting into them from growth to venture capitals.
Right. Okay. Is it just something exciting about like working with entrepreneurs or smaller businesses that you're quite interested in?
Well, as you have experience in many of the problems they are facing, it's kind of fulfilling to be able to give them your opinion and try to guide them. It's something that it's worth dedicating several hours per week, definitely.
As you're involved in so many companies, I'm curious, what do you think a good team culture is or looks like?
A good team culture, oh my God.
Like having lots of young people, or maybe is that bad? Or I don't know. What kind of makes a good atmosphere in the office or virtually nowadays?
It's very, very important that they get along. In basketball, it happens the same. If there is a connection between the players, you will always reach a level that otherwise you couldn't. So in business happens the same. If they get along, they respect each other, they keep decisions together and they work together, but also they give liberty and freedom to each of the members to be the king of their little yard. These are aspects that are critical for a good team becoming an extraordinary team.
Just because I think in the past, I'm not sure how many years, maybe people or managers or companies used to just hire people that were good at their job. But now I think they try to look at the personality of the person to see if it fits with.
Very important, because the egos are very important. your ego and mine couldn't match, maybe, or could. So it's important. It's like I said for having a basketball team that has the four best players doesn't mean that you are going to win the NBA. And we've seen it that in some years that team got around three guys that you say they are going to beat them all, and then they just don't. So in business, is exactly at the end, it's people trying to do their best, and the way they interact with each other and they get along, it's definitely crucial.
Now, one of the businesses you're involved in, which I thought was a bit different, were Cake and Brunch.
Yeah.
Right. Which I've actually been to because I live close to Diagonal. I live on Diagonal. So I live maybe 5 blocks from the place. Very nice. Lots of very colorful food. I love it. It makes you feel it feels like you can eat something healthy, but at the same time a little bit naughty, maybe something like pancakes, but there's lots of so I'm just I thought it was really interesting because from your CV or your resume, you're normally in the world of tech. So how did you get involved in hospitality? How did that happen?
Well, they say that casualty killed the cat. No, it's just saying that you have things that start evolving, and suddenly you find yourself in something that you wouldn't have expected at all. Which we've been trying to diversify our revenue sources for years because FXStreets was our main business, and it's been profitable since the beginning when we started in 2000. And we were investing almost everything for years. Then we decided to start investing in startups. That was our field of expertise. But then we saw that we were already overinvested in startups, and we did some real estate. But it's not my passion, real estate, and it's not something that I'm really happy about it. And we were looking for other opportunities, and Brunch and Cake for a casualty came up, and we thought, why not?
Okay, so it just kind of just being curious yourself as a person leads you to new opportunities. And
well, entrepreneurs, we are very bad managers, but we are people that is always eager to explore things, to try things. My risk adversity is very low, so I don't mind to try and fail. I know that it's part of the process.
I know that for some companies you're the co-owner or co-founder or different positions. And also it's different areas like you mentioned, maybe properties, maybe tech, trading. So do you have to adapt? Do you change your style of interacting as a manager or a leader in any way, depending on the business, or always the same kind of?
No, I try to be always myself, and this is the way I am. And if you like it, fantastic. I try, of course, to be but I cannot play different roles.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, because when you are playing the same role, you can be nicer if you are not in the trenches, or be a little more rigid. You can make some small adaptations, but at the end, you have to be yourself.
Okay, well, talking about the other area we mentioned, FXStreets. What I have discovered is that it's a hub, it's a location for discovering Forex and crypto, or maybe is there anything else that what do you do with FXStreets?
We try to be a place where all traders around the world stop once, twice, as many times as possible during the day, during the week, in the frequency they want. to get the information they need to be updated about the foreign exchange market. So we try to have everything or almost everything under one roof. This is the idea behind FXStreets.
I think for me as a novice, as a beginner, it sounds very scary, Forex and trading.
It is trading scary. You have to take it seriously. You cannot jump in to try to just to play around because you're going to burn yourself.
So is FXStreet is more for a certain level of trader? Do you have a wide range of beginner to, very professional, advanced companies?
We have all kind of profiles. So we have beginners, we have advanced, medium, whatever. It's not an easy website for beginners. We do have them, but it's not an easy. There are other sites like Baby Pips that are thought for beginners, and they are focusing on beginners, and it's easier for them. We are not, but you can be a beginner and be there, because at the end, I just try to offer the best information, and you are the one that decides what you want from us.
Mm. In terms of something that's really popular right now would be AI.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, has that affected your company at all? How you adapt and change, or not really?
No, it's going to affect us. It's a threat and opportunity at the same time. It's a threat because you can ask ChatGPT or whatever AI tool around for the information we are displaying, and you can get it there. And artificial intelligence is coming to our website to get it. Now you can ban crawlers from AI, but they will get it if it's not from you, from somewhere else.
Right.
So this can destroy us. Also can destroy some of the revenue sources we have. I don't know. For instance, we create news about the market, and these news are translated to many languages. So now with excellent translations made with artificial intelligence, you will probably not need to pay for this translation. So this can impact in my revenue stream, but at the same time, it's an opportunity because the translations I saw once at ChatGPT from one of our news was absolutely amazing. That means that in our case, and in the case of most of our competitors, you can have your website in many languages, but you are not as competitive in all languages as in your main one. So artificial intelligence gives us the opportunity to have a very competitive website in many languages, in all languages, in fact. So, we'll see. We are working on some things. We're using artificial intelligence that in theory should help us, but the threats are there, and you have to keep an eye on them.
You have to adapt. And
it's definitely a game changer.
Yeah,
definitely.
Interesting. Well, I think the other thing that's really interesting is, like you mentioned about crypto, because that is something that people are not used to trading or investing in. What do you think are the benefits or advantages of trading cryptocurrency over stocks or, investing in property?
Well, the appealing of cryptos has been in trading them has been the volatility they have. FX, as it doesn't usually have much volatility, and the movements you get at the end of the day are not really, really big. To be an attractive asset, brokers are offering leverage. You don't need brokers offering leverage in cryptos. You can get it, but you don't really need it, because the movements they can have in one day or in 1 week are absolutely amazing. And for this reason, cryptos had that boom that big. I don't really like cryptos because I don't understand them. And as I don't understand how the game is being played, I prefer to play with other assets that I can get myself up absolutely, but at least I understand the rules of the game.
Yeah, I think it's something quite new, isn't it? So it's very it's still developing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just my final question: if you want to, or if there is someone similar to you who wants to have a similar career in investment or what you've done, what advice would you give to them?
The advice I always give is that if you want to do something, do it. Okay, it's better to have regrets because you've done it than that you haven't. Okay, so first of all, if you want to work in the financial industry, or you have an idea of launching a website or next around the corner store, do it. Once you've done it, stick to your plan, because when you get started, it's very difficult to keep the focus. Very difficult, because a lot of people, a lot of noise. The more disruptive or the more appealing you are, the more noise you get around and the more distracting things come up. So try to be focused. Don't be afraid of realizing that you are making mistakes or you are not in the right path, and you have to pivot and keep going. And you will see if there is an opportunity in what you are doing or not. But if you see that there is not opportunity, just quit. I know it's difficult. We've had a lot of bad experiences in not quitting on time. In fact, it's one of the reasons why most of the traders lose, because they realize the profits too fast and they let run the losses. So try to avoid those common mistakes that you have read in many, many books and you've heard from your parents probably, and try to do the job the best way you can. And then may the force be with you, because there is a luck factor that most of the successful people I know, they recognize that the luck or being there in the right moment was absolutely critical for
You just kind of take.
Even if I answered your question, or I was more, I gave you a broader question, not strictly talking about the finance sector.
No, I think I think you gave a general advice about kind of taking educated risks, which is great. You know, don't be afraid to jump into something, and also don't be afraid to quit sometimes.
Yeah, I'm saying things based on my experience. As I told you before, my risk aversion is very low, so I accept defeats or losses, and this has proven me in all these 23 years to be worth it, to be a good strategy. So this is what I recommend. But for the fact of having worked for me doesn't mean that it will work for you.
True. Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, yeah, looking at your career so far, it's very impressive. So I would definitely take your advice. Good. Well, thanks for
doing it. You wanted to do a podcast about and do interviews to some people, and you are doing it. So you are already following my advice.
Good. Well, thanks. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best with your future investments. And have a great day.
You too. A pleasure to be with you today.